Hi, today we are going to see about collection of data. First of all, we have to know about what is data. The data is the actual piece of information that we have collected for the purpose of analysis, and it is the fact or values which are recorded in an experiment or an observation. The data is of two types. They are primary data and secondary data. The primary data is the first hand information which are collected by an investigator. It is collected for the first time and it is original, accurate and more reliable. It consumes more time and money because it is collected directly from the respondent by the investigator, so it consumes more time and money. The best example for this primary data is, you all know about the population census. The population census conducted by the government of India for every 10 years is the best example for the type of primary data. Next is the secondary data. The secondary data is the second hand information. It is not collected directly from the respondent, but it is obtained from the already collected data. So these data are not original and they are not reliable, but they are economical. The example for the secondary data is the address collected from the telephone directory. The telephone directory, it is otherwise called yellow pages, which contains the name and address of the telephone subscribers. So the data collected from the telephone directory is the best example for the secondary data. Coming to the collection of data, the collection of data is the process of collecting or gathering information, that is the values and facts from an observation or an experiment. And the person who collect the information, that is the data, are referred as investigator. The investigator may be a single person, that is an individual, or it may be an organization. And the person who helps the investigator to collect the information are referred as enumerators. And the person from whom the information is collected are referred as respondent. Then the methods of collection of data. There are different methods for the collection of data, and for the collection of primary data there are various methods. First one is the direct personal investigation, then the indirect oral investigation, and the information through the correspondent, telephonic interview, mailed questionnaire, the questionnaire filled by enumerator methods, the census method and sampling method. Then the collection of secondary data are published sources and the unpublished sources. Now we can see about the different method of collection of data, their merits and demerits elaborately. First one is the direct personal investigation. This method is the first hand information. The investigator collected information from the respondent directly as well as personally, and this method is suitable when the investigation area is limited, that is very small, and when there is a need of higher degree of accuracy, and when the investigation should be kept in confident, when the area of investigation is complex and heterogeneous means different kinds, and where a greater degree of intellectual powers, that is the intelligence, the experience and the labors are required. This direct personal investigation method is very suitable. The merits of the direct personal investigation methods are, the data collected are first hand as well as original, and the informations are more reliable and as well as accurate. There is uniformity in the collection of information, and the questions can be modified according to the level of respondent and the other situations. It can be most useful when the area of investigation is very small. Then the demerits of this method is, it is not suitable when the area of investigation is large, and this method is time consuming as the investigator need to personally visit the various places and visit more people to collect the information. And this method is expensive, particularly when the field of investigation is large, because the investigator need to visit all the places and the people and to collect information, so it is very expensive. And the chances of personal bias also more. Here the bias means it is one-sided, that is partiality, that is not given equal chance to different idea. Then the second one is indirect oral investigation. In this method, the information or the data is not collected directly from the respondent, but it is collected from the person who knows something about the investigation, that is the witnesses. And this method is suitable when there is a situation that the informants cannot be approached directly. And the merits of this method is a large area can be broadened in this investigation, and it is economical in terms of money as well as time and also for manpower, because there is no need to contact the respondent directly, so it is economically important. The demerits of this method is the information collected is not completely accurate, because the information is not collected directly from the respondent, and the degree of accuracy of the information is very less when compared to the direct personal investigation. And the information gathered from different persons for the same party may not be similar, and also it not be comparable. The respondent or the witness can change the information according to their own interest. Next method is information through correspondent method. Here the correspondent indicates a few person or a group of person. In this method, the investigator does not collect the information directly from the respondent, but the correspondents or some local agents are appointed and given training to collect the information from the respondent. The merits of this method is it is beneficial where the field of investigation is very large and the information is collected from different parts of the country. It is also quite time saving and economical, because the information is not collected by the investigator directly. It was collected by different group of people in the different parts of country. It is also useful for collecting information on a regular basis. For example, when there is a need for collecting information regularly, like monthly or quarterly or even yearly, this method is very useful. The demerits of this method is the information collected by the different correspondents is not similar, so it often lacks the uniformity. Therefore, it is not also comparable. The information obtained by this method is not reliable, because the chance of personal bias and the partiality of the enumerator is more. And this method cannot be used where the higher degree of accuracy is required. It is also require a lot of time and money to collect the data through this correspondence method. Next method is telephonic interview. In this method, the informations are collected through an interview over the telephone. The merits of this method is it is beneficial when the field of investigation is very large, and also when the information collected from different parts of the country. And it is also time saving as well as economical, because there is no need to visit different places to collect the information. And this information collected is reliable, because the informations are collected from the party directly through the telephone. Then the demerits of this method is it is not possible for all the people, because all the people are not having telephones or mobile. And this method also hinders the visual reaction of the respondents, because the visual reaction is most helpful in obtaining the information on sensitive issues. Then the fifth method is mailed questionnaire method. In this method, the informations are collected from the informants through some questionnaire First, the questionnaires contain some questions are prepared, and then the questions are sent to the informants through post with some instructions like how to fill and the request for a quick response and the aim and objective of the collecting informations. After that, the informant should send it back to the investigator. The merits of the mailed questionnaire method is it is convenient where the field of investigation is very wide, that is very large, and it is quite economical as it involves less money as well as labor and time. And this information collected is very much original and more reliable. All the questions are interpreted by the respondent in his own way, so there is free of a personal bias of the investigator. And this method is also appropriate for sensitive questions and maintain the privacy of the respondent. The demerits of this method is it is only suitable when the informants are educated. If they are illiterate, means they cannot able to answer the questions, and most of the informants do not return the questionnaires back. The informants are least interested in this type of investigation. Sometimes the informants may not understand the questions properly, so they cannot answer the questions. Sometimes the information may be biased, and the process are also time consuming, especially when the information is obtained through post. The next method is questionnaire filled by enumerator method. In this method, the enumerator personally visit the informants along with questions, and they ask questions and note down their responses in the questionnaire. The merits of this method is it is possible to get precise as well as reliable information because the investigator has directly contacting the respondent, and the presence of the enumerator may also induce the respondents to give the information, so the chances of non-response also less. This method can be used even if the respondents are illiterate. But the demerits of this method is it is very expensive because the enumerator need to visit the respondents directly, and also time consuming because the enumerator had to visit the informants personally. The inefficiency or the inability of the enumerators due to the lack of their proper training together with their personal bias may also adversely affect the results of the inquiry. Next one is the census method. The census method is the statistical enumeration where all the members of the populations are studied. The census is the study of every unit, everyone or everything in a population, that is each and everything in a population. It is also called a complete enumeration. The merits of the census method is the census method, all the items of the analysis are studied, so the bias is very less. It helps the government for the future planning. It also gives complete information about the population. It gives more reliable and accurate information. It covers a wide range of the study. The demerits of census method is it is time consuming and also very expensive. It also needs a number of manpowers. There may be sometimes a chance of error information due to less efficiency of the enumerators. Sometimes we may lose the information while investing all the individual units during the census. Next is the sampling method. First of all, we have to know what is sample here. Here the sample is the representative fraction of your population, and the process of collecting the representative fraction of your population is called the sampling method. This method is suitable when the data is very large or infinite. The merits of this method is it is economically viable method because it is less costly, saves time, and also requires less manpower to collect the data. In this method, a higher degree of accuracy is possible, and this method is also more convenient as it does not require more number of investigators. In case where the population size is too large means the sampling method is easy and more practical. We can use it to make the estimation about the population characteristics without even surveying all the units of the population. The demerits of this method is, in this method a careful and proper planning is needed, otherwise it might lead to erroneous, biased and misleading results will be obtained. The source of error also large in this method, and this method even requires experts. If the skilled personnel are not available means to interpret the data, the results drawn will be. And next, coming to the collection of secondary data. The secondary data are collected by means of published sources and unpublished sources. The published sources are the printed forms of data. The published sources means the data available in the printed forms. It includes the journals, magazines and the periodicals, the published by various governments, semi-governments and the private organizations. For examples, the data related to the birth, death, even education, etc. by the government at various levels, and the data regarding the prices, productions, etc. published by the Economic Times or the Financial Express, etc. And the reports of various committees or the commissions like Pay Commission report, Financial Commission report, etc. And the reports of the international agencies like the UNO and WHO, etc. Next one is the unpublished sources. This includes the records maintained by various governments and private offices, and the research studies were done by the research scholars, even students or some other institutions, and the reports prepared by the private investigation companies, etc. are the unpublished sources. Thank you.